an incident or you're back in the pits, I want you all to just say, you know, have a pit party, form groups, and keep going to the end of the practice session, because it's just more valuable to have the practice time where you're all close together, because that's what we're going to experience in the race. In terms of the race, I do appreciate this is good. You know, it's a test race. Most people here, I don't think, took part in the first season, or may not have driven in these cars before. So I appreciate it's probably not going to be the cleanest race in the world. That being said, I am expecting it to meet the same standards that I'd expect any other time. People who have been here before know what those standards are, and those that are new, I'm sure will learn pretty quickly. I'm going to want everyone to just treat it as sensibly as possible. There is nothing on the line today. You're going to learn a lot more by sitting in single file for 30 laps and not having a caution than having a caution every 5 minutes. I do want you as well, if there is an incident, to protest it. Follow the protesting format as it's posted. I think I posted it up, but if I haven't, I'll make sure it's posted up immediately after the race. And what I want you to do is send in the protests as though it was a normal race. If someone's done something that you think's wrong, let me know. Those of you who have been here a while as well will know that I'll be monitoring the restarts, and I want everyone to really be on top of their restarts today. The restarts today are going to be easier than when we get here on the 24th of 25, because for that race in that race, I'm going to run the restart. That'll be a single file restart with lap cars on the inside. Today we're doing double file, and all of the other rounds of the season will be double file. Please be on top of it. Make sure. Now, I know, obviously, all of you have read the season because you agreed to it when you posted it in the sign-up thread. But if, by any chance, you've forgotten or maybe missed bits of it, please go between or during qualifying or in the next 40 or so minutes of practice, go and read that information. It has the rules that I'm expecting you to follow, and I won't care if you get them wrong. It's your job to have read it. That's part of how it's going to work. If you get stuff wrong and you disagree with the rule or you don't like it, it's tough. As they're written, that's how they're going to be enforced. I'm not really interested in hearing anyone's opinions about it. I did see a quick question there, Cade. I'll get to the questions at the end as well. Although Phil does have a point. There's a bit in there on that, but I'll let you know in a second. Otherwise, I just want to see some clean racing. We will learn a lot if we can do some green flag running. At the same time, I know it's not going to be perfect. It's difficult. The whole point in this is that we're figuring stuff out so that we can ask each other questions and get better, so that when we're on a broadcast, as a league, as a group of drivers, we can look pretty good. So outside of that, I think it's time for us to move on to some questions if we've got any. I see that Cade's put one there. So with the restarts, Cade, the leader can choose when to go. So you can wait for the green or you can go. The rules on the starts are specific to everyone else behind, really. There are rules regarding the leader's pace on the start, so you can't speed up and slow down. Don't try and trick anyone. You'll just get a penalty. But if you're behind the leader on that restart, the rules are in there as to what I want you to do. Most of those rules are really just make sure you're close enough. We don't want big gaps. We don't want people trying to jump the start and go 3 wide and be some sort of useless hero that just jumps off the top of a tower block and breaks all their legs. We don't want that happening. It's much more a case of just get the start rolling off sensibly and everyone doing it sensibly and being alert and being on point so that we can spread out on the back straight and actually get some good racing. We have now had, I think, probably 4 or 5 races at 1 caution or less going over well over 100 laps, talking 50-60% distance of cup races, for example. These cars are more difficult, but that is my expectation for this season. I know that there's going to be some learning to start out with, and that's what today is for, but as soon as we hit round 1, my expectations are that we should be racing that cleanly. If you are new, admittedly it's going to be potentially a bit of a learning curve, but that's where the expectation sits, and you will be penalised accordingly if you're not meeting those expectations. Right, let's get on to some group practice. Were there any more questions, sorry, if people did have them?